Hey VC, this is Luke with Hot Wax and Cool Vinyl. Welcome back. Unless this is the first time you're viewing my channel, then welcome. Hopefully everyone had a good last week of February. Today is Sunday, the 1st of March, and I'm going to go over my week of purchases this week. Just a short stack, not too many albums. I was a little bit more choosy with what I purchased this week, and so not as many. So we'll start with Twisted Sister. This is Come Out and Play. This is the pop-up cover with Dee Snider popping up out of the manhole cover. This was the follow-up to Stay Hungry. This came out in '85. Stay Hungry came out in '84. Not a particularly good album, but I bought it because it was economical, and also because Twisted Sister, when I was in high school, was a local band. They used to play out in all the clubs out here on the east end of Long Island, and actually in western Long Island as well. But they had a standing gig that they played out east in one of the local clubs, and it was called the Mad Hatter, the Mad Hatter East to be precise. Dee Snider and the band were very popular and had a great following. Also had the insert for the fan base, t-shirts, calendars, and the like. So, like I said, I bought this, one, because it was inexpensive, and two, because of the history that they have out on Long Island, and they were a band that I was aware of when I was in high school, and they used to be, this was in the late 70s when they were playing out here. I guess it was 79, 80, 81 in that in and around that area. Next one was a pickup from one of my local thrift stores. It's a perfect match. The art band Damme Quintet. This is with Johnny Smith. Still in the shrink, but the shrink is kind of well, dusty, dirty, so I'll probably wind up taking the shrink off of this. It's a Columbia 2i. Was able to buy it at one of my local thrift stores. The album is in fair condition. Gave it a cleaning and played it yesterday, or this morning I should say, and it played pretty well. And while certainly nothing exceptional, it is a nice copy of a let's say a pop jazz album, if you will. Moving on, this one I couldn't pass up. It was Elvis Speedway. Now, this came with the original inner sleeve, and of the Elvis soundtracks, movie soundtracks, Speedway, for whatever reason, seems to be the one that is most sought after, or at least priced that way. Picked it up very inexpensively. For those of you who don't know, the mono copy of this with the photo, the 8x10 glossy photo of Elvis, is really very, very sought after. Don't ask me why. I know, I mean, they didn't make a lot of them, but this one is an RCA. It's not a repress, it's an original RCA Black Label with the original inner sleeve, no photograph, and this is the stereo copy, so not quite as sought after as the mono, but still, for whatever reason, as I said, Speedway seems to be the one that is the more sought after, the higher priced across the board. Certainly on eBay, a little less so on Discogs, but then again, that's almost always the case, isn't it? But great little album. It was definitely missing from my Elvis soundtrack collection, so I was pleased to get it in there for a very, very inexpensive price. Throw that one in. Same for this. This is Sinatra's Come Fly With Me. This is original Capitol. We can tell because the pressing has the vertical bar going alongside through the Capitol logo. It's got a few scuffs and some superficial hairlines. Nothing that really affected play that badly. A little less than moderate noise. Cover was okay. Again, if you saw my last one with the Brubeck Quartet and the Pan Am, this has got your TWA in the background, so it's in a great cover. I think it's one of my favorite, if not the one of my favorites, if not the favorite of all Sinatra albums. So also with this album, again, for whatever reason, this particular Sinatra album, maybe it is because of the artwork, seems to be priced on the higher end of the spectrum. It's been on my want list for a while, and only because I just refuse to pay, $15 for it unless it's a sealed copy. But I was able to get this pretty inexpensively off eBay. So sometimes patience, although I don't have any, is a virtue, and it paid off for me this time. This is a comp album. I like radio station comps. Don't really know why, but just do. This is from WMPS, the Golden Grades Volume 1. And this is on Phoenix Records. And a cool thing about this album is it's got pretty much all your standards. It has Put Your Hand in the Hand, Sweet Mary, If You Could Read My Mind from Gordon Lightfoot, Thank the Lord for the Nighttime by Neil Diamond, Ain't It Funky by James Brown, and then this one, which is Tighter and Tighter by Big Seven Music. Now this was, again, Tighter and Tighter was a pseudo-disco song. Actually, no, it was a disco song. A dance song that made it into the top 40, I want to say the height of the disco period, so let's say 76 or so. And as it were, the band was called Alive and Kickin', and they also used to play locally here on the East End of Long Island, in particular in West Hampton Beach at a club called Wilson's Garage, and they were the Sunday night employees night band. They did every Sunday night, and it was employees night, so if you worked anywhere on the East End or in the Hamptons, you got in for free, and the band played, and then there was a pizza joint across the street who would bring in, like 40 pies or something at the end of the night, and just, everybody would be drunk and grab hot pizza, scald the roof of their mouths, and listen to this band. So when I got the album, I really didn't notice that the song Tighter and Tighter was on there until I play tested it yesterday, and I was surprised, and it brought a smile to my face and one to my wife's face as well, because although she is not, she doesn't like disco, she does remember that band and going to Wilson's Garage to see them. So this is the comp. It's WPMS, Golden Grades, WMPS, I'm sorry, Golden Grades. And including, I don't know if I showed this last week or not, but this is Roger Glover Elements. It's a prog rock, psych rock album. Never really heard of him. Picked it up on a lark as a blind buy. Not a bad album. It's got some, there you go. It's got a little, King Crimson to it. But it was in really good shape. Good cover. gold stamp promo, and white label promo as well. So that's it for this week on the record side. Hopefully everyone is going to be having a great first week of March. Hopefully the weather breaks a little bit more warmly in the area where you're watching, unless you're in Florida, and I hope it just cools down a little bit for you. But out here, today's a little chilly. This week is supposed to be in the 50s, so crossing fingers, hopefully it'll be accurate and we'll get some warm weather up on the east end of Long Island. So that's it for now. Have a great week, everyone. Cheers.